Hi, my name is Chandler Crouch, and I am sending you this video because you sit on a city council or a school board, or you serve in some capacity to help run a taxing entity, either a city or a school district, most likely here in Tarrant County. And I have news about the Tarrant Appraisal District that I wanted to share with you, because if I was in your position, I would want the same information. Some of it is breaking news and it's kind of crazy. So here we go. Let me share with you everything I'm going to cover in this video. First, I'm going to go over a little bit about who I am. Then I'm going to tell you about my experience here in Tarrant County and how Tarrant County has done certifying values for 2020. Next, I'm going to go over a handful of items that have been brought up in the Tarrant Appraisal District board meetings, which I've attended all of them for a while now. There's an audit that's been proposed. There's some budget item concerns, and then now the breaking news is that 2 Tarrant Appraisal District board members have asked to be recalled. This is shocking to me, and I think some of you will have interest in this. And then I'm going to talk about the process in which it's going to take to fill those vacant seats. So let's start from the top here. I am a real estate broker. I am doing what I'm doing because I, like you, wanted to serve my local community. You're serving your local community on the board you serve on. I'm doing it by helping people here in Tarrant County protest their property tax values. This past year, I helped about 20,000 people protest their property tax values. It's something I do absolutely free of charge. And through the process of doing that, I have come to learn about many issues involved in the property tax code and the property tax system itself. And so from a statewide level, what I've done to try and help fix the system and improve it is I got in contact with State Representative Matt Krause, who's the local representative for my area. And he was very interested in the areas of problem that I was able to help identify and some proposed solutions. He actually drafted a bill with many of the ideas that we provided and got a bill passed to help improve the property tax code. And so I've already had a meeting with him about drafting another bill in the next legislative session for ways that the property tax code can be improved to help represent homeowners' best interests. And so we couldn't have a better advocate in Austin for property tax related issues. Locally, however, we have the Tarrant Appraisal District and what's going on with them. So my focus with the Tarrant Appraisal District has been with the board of directors, because the board of directors hires the chief appraiser and they adopt the budget, and everything else in the appraisal district kind of trickles down from there. So it affects, the decisions they make affect everything. If you want to change the system, you need to focus on what's going on at the board. And more specifically, I'm concerned about the process in which the board members are elected and appointed for those positions. Because if it's a fair process, then whatever they decide is something that, whether I like it or not, I can understand is fair, and it's what people are ultimately interested in. Okay, so let's go back. I want to talk about, we'll go from the top here. Let me share my screen again. Number one, you do not know how lucky you are. Tarrant County is one of only 2 major counties in the entire state of Texas that certified their values on time. They deserve recognition for this. They don't get enough recognition where recognition is due, and that is rare. Now, part of the strategy that they used in order to accomplish this goal is that they prioritized property tax agents and property tax consultants first. I heard a little criticism for that, and I heard some praise for that. One way or the other, it resulted in them certifying values on time. And that's important for you guys because of all the new parameters and restrictions put on you by the new tax reform bill, SB 2. Now, in Tarrant County, you have more time than virtually everybody else to get your budgets passed and numbers analyzed and tax rates adopted. And so you have the appraisal district to thank for the amount of time that you have. Okay, let's focus on the next item here, which is the audit. Rich Deotte did some good research that identified that the number of protests that were filed in Tarrant County increased since 2015 way more than most other counties. But I think it might actually be way more than any other county. So Tarrant County saw a 264% increase since 2015, and most other counties saw something far, far less than this. And in the board meetings, there was a lot of speculation as to why this might be. I heard a lot of different ideas as to why the number increased so much. Some people thought it might be an indication that the Tarrant Appraisal District is doing something right. And some people think it's because the Tarrant Appraisal District might not be doing something right. It might be a flaw in their process. So it might be good because they're making protesting a little bit more accessible and they're encouraging everybody to protest every year. It could be bad because an idea was because maybe they're valuing property incorrectly more than other counties. My take on it is, I don't know. I've got my own speculation, but I went ahead and put together all the reasons why I heard, all the speculative all the speculation, all the reasons why people have proposed as to why this increase might be. I wrote a little blog article here, and you can go to that and take a look and judge for yourself. I would like to know personally. I think if it's because good things are happening at Tarrant County Appraisal District, that could end all of the speculation and actually be used as almost a marketing piece to show that the current administration is doing a great job there. One way or the other. Let's move on. All right, budget. Gary Losada raised some concern about a $32,000 a month legal fee. Appraisal District has a lot of legal. They got a lot of people sue the Appraisal District because they don't like the values, and among other things, there's a $32,000 a month budget item for that. And the salaries of the employees there range from the rank and file. According to a salary study that was recently done, the rank and file are paid 11% under the average of other appraisal districts, while some management is paid 9 to 23% over the average at other appraisal districts. And there's now speculation as to why this might be. The rebuttal to all this is that it was the amount over is because the Tarrant Appraisal District has a high number of folks of seniority. So the folks that are getting close to retirement, so their salaries are much higher than other appraisal districts where maybe turnover is greater. So again, this could be an indicator of a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know. The budget recently was passed on a 3-1 vote. Gary Losada was the dissenter. And let's move on. So, and I should mention, Betsy Price and GK Manius got on. The part of their public comment was that they were praising the appraisal district for coming in under budget and sending money back to the taxing entities. Again, I think it's worth it for you to plug into the meeting so you can hear the back and forth, because it's very interesting and also at times very entertaining. All right, let's move on to the area that I am most interested in, which is the 2 vacancy seats. Which are the 2 vacancy seats. The 2 TAD board members asked to be recalled. First, before I do anything, I want to thank John Molyneux and Mike O'Donnell for their service. These guys, I didn't get a chance to get to know them real well, but they are good guys from all accounts. They have done nothing wrong, and they need to be commended for their active public service. They're getting paid or nothing. It's free service that they're providing to the community. It's a position that bears much responsibility and is a thankless job. And whether you disagree with the decisions that they made or not, I appreciate the discourse. I appreciate their role. And I think more people that serve locally, serving their communities, the better off we all are. And so I should thank you for your service to your community as well. Okay, so with that being said, these guys didn't do anything wrong. It seems highly unusual to me for them to be recalled. In every election I've heard of, when somebody's getting recalled or somebody's getting recalled in general, it's because they did something wrong. That's not the case here. These guys asked to be recalled for personal reasons, and I respect their privacy and their personal reasons for being recalled. But it's weird to me. And it was concerning because I thought, well, I don't want anybody to think they did anything wrong, so I want to get out and publicly thank them, if nothing else. All right. I'm going to go deep on the process to fill those seats. I'm going to explain a little bit about the voting system in general, but before I do, if you want to look at some of the property tax code itself to see what is involved in how the law states that the process should go down, then what you need to do is just copy this or get this and then just put it in Google. Watch. Put property tax code and then that number. It's either 6.033 property tax code or it's going to be this other one, 6.03L property tax code. Then the very first result is this. The reason why I'm telling you to do that is because it highlights it for you and jumps directly to that section. It makes it very, very easy to identify and read. It's interesting stuff. So let's talk about the process in which these seats will be filled. I've got a problem with it, to be honest with you. I'm just going to come out and tell you that I got a problem with it. I got a problem with how the whole election is conducted in general, because I believe that there are a couple gaps in the law that leave room for the process to be unfair. So, and I've talked to Jeff Law about this a little bit. I got his comment on this, and I've done everything I can to talk to as many people as I can about how this process goes. And you know, Jeff, I should say, Mr. Law's take on it is, hey, I'm going to follow the law, the way the law is written, of course, and we're gonna fill these seats. So that's what I would hope to hear from him. So I'm glad to hear that. Let's just go back to this. I'm going to first tell you about how the general election is run in the first place. This may be a review for you. You can plug your ears if you don't know this already, or if you already know this, but I'm going to go over this real quick. So in the general election was wrapped up and concluded in December 2019, and these are the candidates that won. It's all the folks that are highlighted in this color right here. The only two candidates that were incumbents that were reelected is John Molyneux and Mike O'Donnell. Coincidentally, the two asking to be recalled are John Molyneux and Mike O'Donnell. The way that the voting process works is that every single voting entity gets the ability, all these guys, they get the ability to nominate a candidate, nominate up to 5 candidates, and then vote on any candidate that any entity has nominated. And this is the number of votes that they get. Now, those number of votes are distributed according to how much property value the Tarrant Appraisal District is going to appraise on their behalf, okay? So the city of Fort Worth has more property value than anybody else. Therefore, the city of Fort Worth gets the most number of votes. And then it just kind of trickles down from there. That's the reason why when you come down here and you see like there's Flower Mound. Well, Flower Mound, just a very small amount of Flower Mound is in Tarrant County, so they only get 1 vote because they've had very little property that's getting appraised by the appraisal district. I personally like the way the system works from that aspect because every single entity gets equal representation because every single entity gets to nominate a candidate to be voted on by anybody. I like that because now they all get to play an equal role. However, I also like the fact that the ones that are going to receive more services from the appraisal district, where the appraisal district is going to do more work for City of Fort Worth, the larger the entity should get more of a say in who is on that board. That makes sense to me. Okay, so where it's kind of weird and interesting and concerning to me is if a candidate is recalled, now to fill the seat, only the entities that participated, or only the entities that voted on that candidate get to participate in filling the seat. So for John Molyneux, you now only have from Godly, these entities right here, okay? Only a very, very few entities, 7 entities now participate in filling the seat for John Molyneux. That means you've got all the rest of these don't have any say whatsoever and don't play any role at all in filling this seat. And so that seat is going to be 1 out of 5 votes for any decision that happens at the appraisal district. To me, it's important to have some kind of representation that considers the fairness of representing every entity in the county for any vote. So O'Donnell, I'm going to explain a little bit more here in just a second. Bear with me. O'Donnell only has even fewer entities that are going to participate in filling the seat. Now, that's for a recall. For a resignation, what would happen is the remaining board members would select who fills the seat. So if O'Donnell, well, let's say if Molyneux were to resign, then O'Donnell, Wildman, Losada, and Deotte, we vote on who would be the replacement. Now, here's the thing. Each one of these candidates were elected through a fair process that considers everybody. That's not the case on a recall. In a recall, if a candidate had done something wrong, then that candidate would basically be misrepresenting the interests of these entities. Therefore, these entities would be somewhat harmed by their, I think these entities might deserve more of a weighted, they might deserve to get to pick a new candidate if that candidate has wronged them. That's not the case here. Therefore, I believe a fair process that represents all entities should be, be enacted in order to fill the vacancies. Here's the linchpin of the whole thing, guys. Here's where I'm gonna propose an answer. If right now, as it stands, if you go to those property tax code areas that I cited earlier, they do not specify the reasons in which a recall can be enacted. So in other words, you can be recalled for any reason at all or no reason at all. That leaves a lot of room for some of these larger entities to get an unfair say in the process. So I'm not saying this has happened. I believe everybody, these people in Arlington ISD, probably good folks that they probably just, somebody asked to be recalled, they recall them. That's probably what happened. But if Arlington, if one of these large entities, let me just sort it according to this so you can see, if one of these large entities that have this massive voting block, if they wanted to, they could go ahead and let the general election conclude, let whoever gets elected, let them get elected, and then they could recall that candidate for no reason at all and basically wipe out their competition and then fill the seat with whoever they want. And so that's the problem that I see. Not that that's happening. I think that I don't know if anybody has bad intentions this whole thing. All I'm doing is looking for the areas of the property tax code that need to be improved. And I believe the election process has just got some holes because it's something that's just not utilized very often. I don't know why they asked to be recalled rather than resigning. It doesn't serve their interest whatsoever to do that. So it makes me think that somebody else has an interest. I don't believe it's Jeff Law. I don't know if anybody at one of these taxing entities has an interest in it. I have no idea. Right now, I don't know if anybody has any ill intent on any area of this. I think that most people probably don't even understand the system enough to figure out how to rig it up and sway anything. But anyway, there you have it. Let me go back here to my table of contents and see if there's anything else I want to comment on before I wrap this thing up. That is it, guys. Hey, let me know if any of this has helped you understand things more. Let me know if this is a beneficial video for you, if you would like more videos like this, if you have questions about anything involved, or if you have any items that you want me to go get more information about. This is something that as I have time, I'm happy to pour more time into helping do what I can to help improve this process and provide a little transparency to what's going on. I would encourage you to attend board meetings. And if you are among those entities that voted for either one of those candidates that's being recalled, please get ready to nominate somebody. If you're in another entity and you want to throw your 2 cents in, then knock on your neighbor's door and talk to the entities that are going to be involved in that recall process and tell them who you want nominated and see if you can, I don't know, play some kind of role in this so that it's a little bit more fair and express your interest in what's going on here. So thank you again for your active service. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out.